Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, a former Precinct 2 Hopkins County Commissioner, Mike Odell, was seriously injured Tuesday evening in a tractor accident. Emergency personnel were dispatched to an area near County Road 2431 south of Como Tuesday evening at around 5:15 p.m. after a report of a man having been run over by a tractor. Odell was flown by medical helicopter to Christus Mother Frances Hospital in Tyler. He remained in the hospital on Wednesday. Hopkins County Sheriff Lewis Tatum said according to a Wednesday morning update, he was told that Odell was going to make it. Odell reportedly sustained several severe injuries. The City of Sulphur Springs Board of Adjustments and Appeals said yes to a couple of items on an agenda on Tuesday evening. One was for a special use permit for a tattoo studio at 201 Houston Street, Suite 4. At a meeting of the City Planning and Zoning Commission Monday night, a special use permit was recommended for the tattoo studio, provided the business adheres to the same provisions outlined in previous permits elsewhere in the city. The Board of Adjustments and Appeals also said yes to a request for a front yard setback variance at 804 Church Street so a covered porch can be built. Board of Adjustments and Appeals is a decision-making board and not just an advisory board.
Today, you get 2 interviews for the price of 1. First, we'll find out about activities at Cooper Lake State Park from Complex Manager Steve Killian, and then Carol Ann Odell will tell us about this Saturday night's Fall Roundup at Wesley United Methodist Church.
But we have a great group of park rangers there, so it makes my job really easy.
Sure. You love the outdoors.
I love the outdoors. I love hiking. I love campfires. 2 nights ago, I spent time in my backyard around the campfire, and I've coined the term campfire time because if you're with your family and friends around a campfire at Cooper Lake State Park, time means nothing. You're eating, you're having fun, and what better time of the year to have a campfire than right now? I mean, the nights are cool to cold.
Yeah.
That campfire was awesome. So campfire time. You guys need to come out and experience it at Cooper Lake State Park.
So it is available to anyone who comes through the gate, pays their admission?
Well, they pay their admission, and then our ground grills are in our campground. So we have multiple ground grills. So the campfires are really set up for the overnight campers.
Okay.
So we have well over 100 sites scattered throughout South Sulphur, and then we have about 50 sites at Doctors Creek for campfires. And this is a busy time of the year, so if you're looking to come out and spend the weekend, get on the website, make a reservation there, or call our reservation hotline in Austin, and you'll be there with us this weekend.
It's also a good time to look up at the stars.
We are blessed being this close to Dallas, the Metroplex, and there's Texarkana and Paris, and then there's Sulphur Springs here, which has a lot of light as well. But you can actually see the Milky Way on a moonless night, and that's very unusual being this close to the Metroplex. So with that being said, we have lots of stargazing programs at Cooper Lake because of the fact that we really do not have a lot of light pollution there at the park.
Very, very interesting. When can someone come take advantage of one of the stargazing nights?
Let me take a quick peek here. We have a starry hike, which our park ranger, Bianca Banda, she will take the visitors who sign up for that. You don't have to sign up for it, just show up for it, on a hike. And along the hike, you'll stop, and she'll tell you star stories, the Native American stories about the heavens, other stories about the heavens, and she'll weave a tale based on our cultural history. And you'll enjoy the night as well because she'll point out some of the sounds of the night. It could be creepy, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So
the other evening, not many nights ago, the moon was so bright there was a moon shadow out there.
yes, and we have actually moon programs as well. So the best way to find out what we're doing at Cooper Lake State Park, either Doctors Creek or South Sulphur, is to go to our Facebook page, Cooper Lake State Park, Doctors Creek, or Cooper Lake State Park, South Sulphur, and we list all the programs. And for your information, we have and we can cancel programs based on weather. So if we have a starry night hike and it's raining, it's going to be canceled, unfortunately. So sure. We'll have to do it sometime in the future. So if weather could be an issue, check our Facebook page, and we'll let you know if the program's still happening or not. I'd like to say one more thing.
Sure.
I'd like to thank all the citizens of Texas that voted and passed Prop 5 by a wide margin, 88% for, 12% against, and now for present and future generations of Texans, we have stable funding from the sporting good tax to build additional Texas state parks and maintain the current state parks we have. So we're really excited about that. And for present and future generations of Texans, it's going to be a great thing.
What do you think this newly secured funding will allow us to do
here at Cooper Lake State Park? Well, we have a large pier that's at Sunset Cove that was damaged, basically destroyed a couple of years ago. Well, that project is on the docket now to be rebuilt, to be made bigger and better than it was before. So we're really excited about that.
That is such good news.
And hopefully we can get a recreation center at the park as well, because we need indoor space. When we have large groups, they need a meeting space. And one thing we do not have at either Cooper Lake State Park, Doctors Creek, or the South Sulphur Unit here in Hopkins County, we don't have a large meeting space that businesses and groups can meet in a climate-controlled facility, have their meeting, have their event, and then go outside and enjoy the outdoors. So hopefully we can get that built at the park as well. It'd be a great resource.
It sounds like it. When you go to Cooper Lake State Park and come through the gate, friendly folks are there to.
We have great rangers at headquarters. They're very friendly, and they will answer any questions you may have. And then they'll hand you off to rangers in the field, and you'll see rangers in the field on grounds maintenance, taking care of the restrooms. But we'll answer any questions to help you have a great day.
Thank you very much, Steve Killian.
It's great being here. Thank you.
It's more fun outside is his motto. Is that right?
Part of it, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And come back again real soon. Thank you for coming. And what are you going to tell us about?
I'm going to tell you about the 41st Wesley Fall Roundup, which is this Saturday night. We'll start serving stew at 4:30, and that's chicken stew, beef stew, and chili. Chili has become very popular with our Roundup. We've had to add another pot because people are loving, and with the weather going to be nice and cool, they seem to love the chili, and so we've added 2 pots of that.
Well, it helps you to know when people purchase their tickets ahead of time how many to expect. But there are people who can come even and get in at the
Right. You can get tickets at the door. They're $6 for adults, and then they're $4 for 10 and under, and then 5 and under it's free. And Enola, this year we have some really nice live auction items.
Oh, you always do.
We have an Apple Watch. We have a 4 or 5 day stay at a condo in Angel Fire. We have a 1 day use of the venue in downtown. And then as always, we have meals. So we have a dinner for 6 to 8, an Italian dinner, and then a dinner for 6 to 8, a Mexican dinner. And then our own Joe Clark is going to do some guitar lessons. So there is a number of things that anybody would be interested in, but we're just real excited about these items.
Well, I would say so. And your auction is always like that.
Yes.
You always have wonderful items in the auction. And you have this little old-fashioned thing that I just love so much called a country store.
The country store, and it's just homemade items. And, of course, we have the baked goods, but it's just strictly homemade items. It's not something that you just went out and bought. It's the tablecloths or the napkins or the little crochet things that people... We are losing that, and so we like to keep it as... as
kind of nostalgic in a way.
Right.
Because you can't just purchase these handmade things everywhere anymore. So linens, you mentioned, jellies, jams?
Yes, jellies and jams.
And other things that people make.
Right. And then, of course, we have the silent auction as well. And we have a number of things in those. And I'm really excited. We have the same auctioneer as last year, Lloyd Lennon. And he has just been in with us from day one, giving us all sorts of ideas and guidance and things we need to do that would, make his job a little bit easier and make it a really fun night. He's really got some neat ideas.
Do you have child care?
Yes. There will be child care provided.
Okay, so if you want to come but you got the kids, well, there's a fun place for them to play for a while,
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
If you don't know Wesley United Methodist Church, you need to know this church and this church family.
Definitely. We have, I have been going there since 1999, and yes, it is a family. But then, Enola, there is a lot of people in this community that were members of Wesley that we always want to have them come back. And they always say Wesley was their home, even though they went somewhere else. And that's why we continue to do it every year, because we are part of this community, and we appreciate the other churches come to supporting us.
This is true. Every year at Wesley, the people in their cars who came were all over, even up and down the streets at that auction time. Everybody came to the auction.
Right.
And it's also true that some of the customs that were so popular, let's say 20 years ago, may fade out a little bit because of people, the older ones, not being here anymore.
Right,
and
right.
As you were mentioning, the quilters and the crochets and all that.
Yes, we used to have a very large quilting group, and unfortunately they have just passed on, and it's something that you just never get back, but we cherish those quilts that we still have.
Oh, you got some good bakers. I'll tell you what was fun. Go to the auction, and you've already had your stew and probably a dessert, and then later you see the sliced desserts are out here. You can keep going back.
Right. That's the one thing that we have people that come is we do the pies for dessert.
Yes.
And you don't have to buy them. They're just unlimited pies that you can come try, and we do. We do have that. But then we also have items in the live auction. A wonderful coconut cake that Francis Daniel makes every year, and it usually is one of those items that we have 2 or 3 bidding against at one time, and it's really, really good. Yes, we do have some wonderful bakers.
You also have a very lively youth department at Wesley.
Right, yes. Joe Clark is our youth director, and on Wednesday nights when the youth meet, we're getting anywhere from 25 up to 30 kids that are coming in. Now, they're not all youth, but it's just the children and the youth combined. But yes, they are. And they're just, we can see the change in them. Those of us that come on Wednesday night for Wednesday night dinner, they're just, you can see the light in them. You can see that his work is really taking effect on them.
And everybody eats together on Wednesday night.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. It's a family meal.
Mm-hmm. It's a family meal. And a lot of those kids don't get that. Mm-hmm. So we try to, impress on them. That's what we do on Wednesday night. And they learn to respect themselves and us as well.
And talking about Wesley, tell us about your pastor and your music.
Steve Cook is our pastor, and Joe Clark leads our worship as well. And then his brother, Paul, plays the drums, and then Mary Ellen plays the piano, and I play the organ. And it's just a combination of traditional music, and Joe puts in some of the old and the new, and our congregation loves the older ones, like the Gaither music and so forth, but he tries to combine both of those, and it's just a wonderful worship time that we have on Sunday mornings.
So Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights at Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent many times in that beautiful sanctuary, very lofty, high sanctuary.
It is. It is.
And it is like family there. Fall Roundup, though, is their very special time of year, and it is coming up this Saturday evening.
This Saturday evening, and the weather's going to be really nice. The rain's supposed to be here on Friday and then out on Saturday, so we should have cool weather for the cooks. And we do it just like they do at the Stew Festival. We have the old pots that are sitting out there cooking out underneath the awnings, yeah. So and it's just a fellowship time, too.
2 kinds of stew and a pot of chili.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And if you're a chili aficionado, come and taste this.
Well, we also have Garrett Glass, who has won
right.
At the Hopkins County Stew, that's going to be doing his beef stew.
I'm writing that down because he is a super winner.
He is a super winner. Yes, he is. He sure is. And he'll let you know that, too. But his stew is very good, and we're very glad and appreciate him coming and cooking for us.
Well, so many members of Wesley are very dear to people listening and to me, and we love getting back to Wesley, even if it is once a year at Fall Roundup.
And we love having everybody. We really do.
Thank you very much, Carol Ann, for telling us about all this.
Thank you so much for having me, and everybody have a blessed week.
In sports, the Wildcats basketball team went over the century mark Tuesday night with a 103-52 victory over Pleasant Grove at the main gym at Sulphur Springs High School. Wildcats started off hot and just got hotter throughout the game. Wildcats built a 21-13 first quarter lead. By halftime, the Wildcats were up 46-25. They stretched that lead to 74-36 after 3 quarters. 9 different Wildcats scored points during the game. Senior Day-Day Hall led the Wildcats with 21 points, including a 3-pointer. Junior Lamadrick Johnson came off the bench to score 20 points. Senior Cameron Kahn added 16 points. Senior Grayson McClure had 14 points, including 4 3-pointers. Junior Boo Wilkerson and sophomore Caleb Alexander had 8 points each, and both of them had 2 3-point baskets. Sophomore Justin Hare had 7 points and 1 3-pointer. Senior Justin Brock hit 2 3-point baskets for 6 points, and junior Jatavian Hall had a 3-pointer for a total of 3 points. Wildcats hit 13 3-pointers. The 103 points believed to be a previous high for a Wildcat team, at least over the last 13 years, and may be an all-time high. We'll have to get some opinion on that. The last point total of significance, 94 points earlier this year, back in January, as the Wildcats outscored Princeton 94-84 at Sulphur Springs on January 14th of this year. Former Sulphur Springs Lady Cats coach Jeff Chapman, his team clobbered Marshall 101-26 back on January 27th, 2017. Back to Tuesday night, the Wildcats JV also had a big night against Pleasant Grove, defeating the Hawks 76-30. The Wildcats, ranked number 5 in Class 5A, improved their season record to 2-0, and the Wildcats play next against Byron Nelson in Trophy Club, Texas, located 20 miles north of Fort Worth. After the game on Tuesday night, I talked with Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta. I don't think I've ever seen the Wildcats score 100.
No, since I've been here, we haven't. This team has the ability to really shoot the ball well. I have just about everyone I put on the floor has the ability to, extend zones and extend man pressure by shooting the 3-ball, and we hit a couple of those tonight. And, we were just firing on all cylinders, and I told, you guys and a couple other people, this team really loves to share the basketball, and I would be surprised if we didn't have 25 to 30 assists tonight. We just really did a wonderful job of moving the basketball, finding the next guy. I have a good shot, but he has a better shot, and that's going to make us special if we can keep doing that.
Yeah, you pick Lamadrick Johnson, and I know he struggled with some kind of aches and pains
right
in the early part of the season. He looked like he felt really, really good tonight. and comes off the bench and scores 20 points and just, makes some drives. And,
Right.
and remember years ago he made that drive and we thought, maybe we're beginning to see something, and we saw it tonight.
Yeah, he's very dynamic with the basketball in his hands, and it's really hard to stay in front of him. He's a nightmare to guard one-on-one, and we started to hit some shots early, so it spread out the defense, and Lamadric just took advantage of it. He got to the paint, got to the rim just at will, and they couldn't stop him. He went on a stint there where, I called 2 or 3 plays, and he just blows by his guy. I'm like, yeah, go finish. And, with that dynamic and with our shooters, with our size inside, I think we can attack on, just so many different ways. So I'll be curious to see how, we keep molding and keep looking throughout the season.
It must be a great feeling to look down that bench, and no matter what decision you make, it's going to be a good one. Looks like everybody you sent out there really got the job done tonight.
They can. Like Jatavian Hall, he might be one of our best shooters that you could put in. Caleb Alexander, who's a sophomore, came in and hit, I think, 2 or 3 threes, and he could shoot it from deep. And then you have Malik Cole, who can be aggressive and play defense, and he's a really good athlete. So it's really neat to just see a group of kids get excited for one another when they get to go into the game, and the crowd was they were awesome as well.
Then Grayson McClure, after kind of a pedestrian first half, then that third quarter he just got into some kind of zone, and
Right.
he could not miss.
Yeah, and he went 0 for 6 at the Cowtown Showdown this past week. So his first one he took went in. So I was like, oh, thank you. He needed to see it go through the net, and he's such a good shooter. He's just one of those kids that, sometimes when you shoot, they're not going to go in. But I was proud of how he responded, and he just kept firing away. And then he got into that zone and hit a few more late. And like I said, our team's so good at finding those guys. They know Grayson has the hot hands, so they're really good at driving and, looking for him. So, once again, just really proud of this team's ability to share it and just a love for one another that they show in doing so.
Next for you, you're 2-0 now. And, next, I believe, if I read the schedule right, Byron Nelson. That'll be a road trip. Are they another kind of one of those special teams?
They're really good. I watched some of them today. They have a kid going to play with Cam at Dallas Baptist, one of the top shooters in the state of Texas. He can really play. They have a lot of size, 2 or 3 guys that are 6'7" and above that play above the rim. They'll be a very good challenge for us. They play really disciplined defense, very sound in what they do. So I'm glad we have a week to prepare for them because we play them next Tuesday.
Yeah, this will send some shock waves all across East Texas. It's just, when you put up an offensive performance like this, it just shows that this team can really explode and score a lot of points in a hurry.
They can, and we can do it in so many different ways. We go inside, we go outside, we can attack. If you pressure us, we can make you pay. So I'm hoping, we can keep that up.
Wildcats baseball pitcher and power-hitting infielder Jackson Chaney, the son of Brent and Deanne Chaney, signed a letter of intent Wednesday morning to play college baseball at Ouachita Baptist University in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And I talked with Chaney about his decision. Tell us how that all came about.
Well, to be honest, it kind of came about me pretty fast. It all came together really quickly. I got a call from one of my coaching staff from my summer team, and he said, hey, man, I got this school, Ouachita Baptist. I'd never heard of it, honestly. I knew that it was kind of across the street from Henderson where Caden Argenbright's going. I took a visit. I talked to Coach Howard. He's a great coach, great guy. He's really whipping that program into shape. And he really said some things that I really agreed with. And I sat on it on the way home, and I woke up the next morning. I gave him a call. I was like, Coach Howard, I'd love to spend the next 4 years of my baseball career playing for you, and the rest is history.
All right, you did visit. How was Ouachita?
Oh, the campus is great. It's super small. It's smaller than Sulphur Springs. Actually, it's probably about 1,500 students, and they all live on campus. It's a real close-knit community. It is right across the street from Henderson, so that's a big rivalry. That's always going to be fun. Just the hometown feeling that the campus gave me was unlike any others. So that was a really big part of why I'm going.
You're a versatile guy. You can do a lot of different things. What do they see as a role for you?
They obviously want me to pitch and hit for sure. They want me to play some third base, and if need be, I could play some corner outfield since I'm a more versatile guy. But definitely pitching is a big one.
Is that all good with you, I guess?
Oh, of course. Whatever's going to get me on the field the fastest, I'm cool with doing.
Think you can play right away, or what? Wow, what's their setup?
I think if I really press hard on the pitching aspect of my career, that would put me on the field the fastest because there's guys there that are 4 years ahead of me that just get that level of training and experience. But to get me on the field the fastest, I'd say pitching is probably the best option.
Are you thinking starting, or maybe they start you in the bullpen, or?
No, I would say a starting role. If that's purely up to what they decide for me to do, but I would like to be a starting pitcher.
On your club teams and stuff, you do both?
Yes, I do both. For my club teams, I normally played first base, so I didn't have to do much throwing because I would start pitching. But it was pretty much just first base and starter pitcher.
What do you feel like you have to work on to get to the next level?
I'd say arm velocity for sure. You can't get guys out with 82 all the time. I need to develop a fourth pitch, fastball, curveball, changeup. Really won't get the job done at the next level. So I'd say probably a slider implement would be good. Consistency in my swing, being able to put the ball in play hard every at bat. Lowering the strikeout rate, and honestly just hitting more home runs.
There you go. Tell us about your plans outside of sports. What would you like to do?
Oh, I would like to major in sports management. So whenever my time as a baseball player is over, I'd like to go into more of the business aspect of the game and really do some serious coaching and like general management type stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, best of luck. We're proud of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Wildcats baseball coach Jared Hammock comments on Jackson Chaney and Ouachita Baptist.
What can you say about him that we don't already know? He's a phenomenal player. You've been here as long as I have. This is my 15th year, and it's safe to say that he's right up there with the best players that we've had, and we've had a lot of good ones come through here, as you know. To me, he's a competitor first and foremost. He's got real power. He can hit it out of the park anywhere. And if you remember, I believe it was against Prosper 2 years ago at Rockwall. He had one out, down the opposite field line. So he can hit it anywhere. I think our season kind of turned for the better last year when he was able to come back and start pitching again for us. And so that was a big deal. And we're going to count on him again this year to do a lot of things, pitch and, hit in the middle of the order. And, not that I'm putting pressure on him and expecting it, but he's got power enough. He can hit double-digit homers, if he gets going, which is a big deal for a high school kid. And he'll play a corner infield position for us, as you know, more than likely first base.
Yeah. What's your history with Ouachita? I'm trying to remember who we may have sent there, if anybody.
I don't think we have. We've had a pipeline to Henderson State across the street with Cody Hooton, of course, a native Sulphur Springs guy, and I'll fail to name everybody, but there's probably at least 6 or 7 guys from here that have played at Henderson State at one time or another, at least 4 at a time. Of course, currently Caden Argenbright. So, I know about Ouachita. I was telling Tori Humphreys, my 4th grade teacher, went to school with Cliff Harris at Ouachita back in the 70s, when he was in his heyday with the Cowboys. And so I've heard about them for a long time, and they've actually gone to a Division II College World Series in the last 6 or 7 years. And so, they've got a program on the rise, and certainly Jackson should be able to come in right away and contribute.
Should be a little trash talking, maybe. Caden, can Caden hold his own with Jackson?
Well, in a different way, certainly. He's not going to hit any balls out of the yard like Jackson can, but certainly Caden was, one of the better hitters we've had ever come through here. And yeah, right across the street, they'll see a lot of each other, and I'm sure they're in the same conference and will play quite a bit against one another over the next few years. And so that'll be interesting. Hopefully, I can, go see them maybe play each other. This year.
Very good. The Saltillo Lady Lions basketball team improved their season record to 2-1 with a home opener win over Maud 64-8 Tuesday in Cary Garman Gym. The Lady Lions outscored Maud in the first quarter 24-0, and they led at the half 37-5. and the Lady Lions led after 3 quarters, 51-8. For the Lady Lions, Chandler Bain led all scorers in the game with 14 points. Christina Wade and Anna Reeder had 10 points each. Allie Lane and Maddie Smith scored 8 points apiece. Paisley Kastner had 5 points. Brittany Peoples had 4 points. Juliana Giles added 3 points, and McKenna Gurley scored 2 points. The Lady Lions play next in their own Saltillo Varsity Girls Tournament with games against Clarksville and Prairieland on Thursday. The Saltillo Lady Lions JV team also topped Maud by the score of 48-13. And that's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.
You will use any excuse to get out of class, won't you?
Yeah, Jackson is my dear friend. I really watch him.
We love Jackson. Go Tigers.
Yeah, Jackson.